आज हम सब यूपीएससी मेंस 2021 प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस पेपर्स के डिटेल्ड सॉल्यूशन देखेंगे। आखिर आपको एग्जाम में किस प्रकार से लिखना चाहिए ताकि आपको हर एक जीएस पेपर में 100 प्लस मार्क्स इजीली आ जाए। बाय द वे, हमने सारे जीएस पेपर 1 से लेकर के 4 तक का डिटेल आंसर बताया है, हिंदी एंड इंग्लिश दोनों मीडियम के लिए। हर एक क्वेश्चन को टू द पॉइंट बताने का कोशिश किया गया है। आखिर एग्जैक्टली आपको एग्जाम में किस प्रकार से लिखना चाहिए। यदि इस तरीके से आप लिखते हैं तो अवश्य आपको बेहतरीन मार्क्स आएंगे। इस वीडियो में हम सब जनरल स्टडी पेपर 1 इंग्लिश मीडियम के लिए बनाए हैं। यदि आपको हिंदी मीडियम के लिए डिटेल आंसर चाहिए तो आप वीडियो का लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में या कमेंट बॉक्स में देख सकते हैं, जिसमें हमने चारों जीएस पेपर इंग्लिश और हिंदी दोनों के लिए सेपरेट वीडियोस बनाए हुए हैं। यह सारा पेपर यूपीएससी के एक्सपर्ट के द्वारा सॉल्व किए गए हैं। ज्यादा समय ना गवाते हुए अब हम सब डिटेल एक्सप्लेनेशन देखते हैं जीएस पेपर 1 यूपीएससी 2021 फॉर इंग्लिश मीडियम। लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड। बाय द वे, यदि आपको 1979 से लेकर के 2021 तक के मेंस के चारों जीएस के डिटेल्ड सॉल्यूशंस चाहिए तो आप यह बुक अवश्य डाउनलोड कर ले। यह बुक दोनों मीडियम में अवेलेबल है, इंग्लिश एवं हिंदी। इस बुक में टू द पॉइंट सॉल्यूशंस बताने का कोशिश किया गया है और जो इसमें सॉल्यूशन बताए गए हैं वो यूपीएससी के वर्ड लिमिट के अनुसार बनाए गए हैं। बेहद डिटेल में सॉल्व किया गया है। जिस प्रकार यूपीएससी को आंसर का डिमांड है उसी प्रकार का आंसर इस बुक में प्रस्तुत किया गया है। एंड बाय द वे, यह बुक एक्स और रिनाउंड डीयू प्रोफेसर के मार्गदर्शन में बनाया गया है। आशा करते हैं आप इस बुक को डाउनलोड करेंगे। लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन या कमेंट बॉक्स में आपको मिल जाएंगे। अब हम सब क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 को देखते हैं। Evaluate the nature of the Bhakti literature and its contribution to Indian culture। इस क्वेश्चन का आप आंसर कुछ इस प्रकार से लिख सकते हैं। Bhakti literature represents the legacy of a socio-religious reform movement that prevailed from 8th century to 17th century CE. It was characterized by use of local languages and socially inclusive outlook. Nature of Bhakti literature is as follows. 1. Devotional, Kirtana Ghosha of Shankar Deva, Vavishnava devotional songs, Tirumurai Tamil songs in praise of Shiva, etc. 2. Non-sectarian, in Bhakti poems, Radha Shyam is supposed to be the equivalent of Sita Ram. 3. Inter-regional appeal, Ramacharitsmanas and Hanuman Chalisa written in Awadh gained popularity across the length and breadth of the country. 4. Inter-religious harmony, Sufi poetry of Baba Farid was incorporated into 6 religious canons. 5. Unorthodox approach, Guru Nanak in his poems talked about futility of unnecessary rituals and pilgrimages. 6. Against elitism, Bhakti literature is marked by use of non-elite elements like regional dialects, inclusion of castes and outcasts, anti-ritual, emphasis on love for God over respect for Him. Contribution of Bhakti literature to Indian culture. 1. Linguistic development, development of Marathi, Punjabi and its script Gurumukhi, Assamese etc. occurred due efforts of saints like Tukaram, Sikh gurus, Shankardeva etc. 2. Indianization of Islam occurred due to the endeavors of the Sufi saints. For example, contributions of Nizamuddin Auliya, Rahim etc. 3. Music and dance, use of Bhakti literature for devotional singing in Kirtana, Kavali, devotional dance such as Sattarya etc. 4. Philosophical growth, post-Vedanta ideas were explored by Madhvacharya through his Dvatadvata, Ramanujacharya in his Vishishta Advaita etc. 5. Assimilation of various saints, diverse religious ideas promoted growth in religion. 6. Emergence of sects like Sikhism, Kabirpant etc. However, Bhakti literature is also criticized on following grounds. 1. The religious and philosophical ideas did not represent a break from orthodoxy. 2. It failed to create any political awakening in people. 3. It promoted servility through ideas of devotion, and sustained hegemony of hierarchical social structure. Bhakti literature provided a breath of relief for masses under conditions of social and political repression. The cultural impact was diverse from music to philosophy and language. आशा करते हैं कि आप इस क्वेश्चन को समझ चुके हैं। तो हम सब आगे बढ़ते हैं। अब हम सब क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 को देखते हैं। Trace the rise and growth of socio-religious reform movements with special reference to Young Bengal and Brahmo Samaj. इस क्वेश्चन का आप आंसर कुछ इस प्रकार से लिख सकते हैं. Socio-religious reform movements arose in India during 19th century, not only facilitated by but also as a reaction to colonial rule, after the establishment of British political supremacy in India. Young Bengal and Brahmo Samaj represent two important points of these reformist movements. The rise and growth of socio-religious reform movements in India can be traced in following points. 1. People from elite class who were educated through modern English education provided the backbone of religious reform movements. For example, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, the founder of Brahmo Samaj. 2. Radical intellectual movement inspired by the French Revolution emerged under Diderot as Young Bengal movement. It challenged orthodox restrictions on diet and social interactions and promoted free thinking, rationality, questioning the authority and ideals of liberty, equality and freedom. 3. Work of missionaries was crucial in spreading alternate system of education, which would soon become mainstream. 4. Orientalism was pursued to understand local culture, but it soon drew antagonism and disgust for native traditions in face of superiority of the colonial class and its culture. 5. Hegemony of ideas like monotheism and cultural backwardness of Indian society paved way for prescription of new norms in public culture about rituals, conditions of women etc. 6. Colonial support for individual reformists, common class interests between the prospering zamindars and the British, creation of a public sphere of debate through influence of Diderot's Young Bengal completed the rise of socio-religious reform movements of 19th century. Socio-religious reforms were a reaction against colonial judgment and native backwardness. The movement arose and declined, but with lasting impact on society and the public sphere of ideas. आशा करते हैं कि आप इस क्वेश्चन को समझ चुके हैं. तो हम सब आगे बढ़ते हैं. अब हम सब क्वेश्चन नंबर 3 को देखते हैं. Assess the main administrative issues and socio-cultural problems in the integration process of Indian princely states. इस क्वेश्चन का आप आंसर कुछ इस प्रकार से लिख सकते हैं. Integration of princely states into India on eve of independence was crucial last step towards realizing the dream of an independent Republic of India. But the difference in conditions, issues and aspirations provided difficulties that required stoic attention. Following administrative issues hindered integration of princely states. 1. Territorial contiguity or lack of it, such as in Patiala, Kapurthala etc., which were combined into PEPSU, or Jammu and Kashmir, whose connectivity was threatened due to disruption of railway and roads passing through areas under Pakistan. 2. Lapse of British paramountcy created a lacuna of sovereignty. 3. Residual powers. Princely states surrendered only rights enumerated in Instrument of Accession and retained administrative roles as rulers. 4. The question of authority versus popular will as the legitimate deciding factor divided opinions, such as in Junagadh, Hyderabad and J&K. 5. Princely privileges. The extent of privileges to be retained, nature of compensation and hierarchy among princes, privy purses etc. were points of contention. 6. Religious role of kings such as of Travancore in management of Padmanabhaswamy temple and its assets were complex problems. Following socio-cultural problems existed in integration of Indian princely states. 1. Hyderabad had problems of peasant discontent. For example, the Telangana movement. 2. J&K had social discontent against the king, and a communal divide in economic status. 3. There was cultural difference between Telugu-speaking parts of Hyderabad and Urdu-speaking and Marathi-speaking regions. 4. There was economic divide between regions to be integrated, such as between Baroda and other princely states of Saurashtra region. Integration of Indian princely state is a mark of administrative statesmanship and socio-cultural integration of a diverse people with diverse aspirations. आशा करते हैं कि आप इस क्वेश्चन को समझ चुके हैं. तो हम सब आगे बढ़ते हैं. अब हम सब क्वेश्चन नंबर 4 को देखते हैं. Differentiate the causes of landslides in the Himalayan region and Western Ghats. इस क्वेश्चन का आप आंसर कुछ इस प्रकार से लिख सकते हैं. Landslides are the movement of mass of debris, earth or rock, sliding down under the effect of gravity. Landslides are a common problem across the Himalayas and Western Ghats. However, the factors for the two differ, as seen in the following table. Western Ghats 1. Heavy mining activities in the Western Ghat region is a major factor leading to landslides. Though, deforestation for settlements and cutting for road construction. 3. Anthropogenic activities gave rise to anomalous slopes, and due to gravitational pull and rain, the overlying material comes down. 4. Concentration of heavy rainfall in concentrated areas. 5. Windmill projects have led to huge fractures on the mountains, loosening structures. 6. For example, Ratnagiri, Satara, Idukki, H. Himalayan Region 1. Himalayas are young, fragile mountains still growing, hence susceptible to natural landslides. Though, the sediments in the mountains are not consolidated and are loose. 3. There is tectonic activity, with the plate moving up which causes instability. Hence the landslides can also occur during the dry seasons. 4. The steep and sharp slope in the Himalayas are major factors for the landslides in the region. 5. Anthropogenic factors in Himalayas include Jhum cultivation, deforestation leading to landslides. 6. For example, Almora, Pithoragarh, Rudraprayag landslide as a challenge has grown in the recent years due to anthropogenic activities. In this light, along with sustainable development policies, indigenous knowledge should be leveraged. Construction in eco-sensitive zones need to be checked. Recommendations of Kasturirangan, Madhav Gargil reports and guidelines of NDMA on landslides need to be followed. आशा करते हैं कि आप इस क्वेश्चन को समझ चुके हैं। तो हम सब आगे बढ़ते हैं। अब हम सब क्वेश्चन नंबर 5 को देखते हैं। Despite India being one of the countries of the Gondwana, its mining industry contributes much less to its gross domestic product, GDP, in percentage. Discuss. इस क्वेश्चन का आप आंसर कुछ इस प्रकार से लिख सकते हैं. India being a part of Gondwana is richly endowed with mineral wealth such as coal, iron, mica, aluminium etc. However, mining sector of India contributes only 2.2% to 2.5% to the GDP of the country. Reasons for low contribution are as under. 1. Minerals are located in forested tribal areas. Democratic polity with a mandate for welfare creates conflicting priority of mineral exploitation and tribal development. 2. Multiple clearances and legal hurdles. The mining sector yields from the requirement of multiple clearances, which makes the sector unviable, unprofitable. For example, environmental, forest clearances. The mining sector is also susceptible to various legal pronouncements. For example, SC judgment on coal block allocation affected coal mining output. 3. High levies. Mining sector in India is subjected to much higher levies than other mining geographies. For example, high royalties, double taxation etc. 4. Poor exploration. Highly restricted licensing regimes disincentivizes private players to indulge in mineral exploration. 5. Monopoly of PSUs. Mining sector suffers from problem of unproductive usage of assets due to monopoly of PSUs. For example, Coal India's monopoly in coal sector. 6. Slow modernization. India's mining sector has been slow in adopting productive global trends. For example, smart mines etc. The mining sector of India hold immense potential to reduce import dependence and hurl industrial development. In this light, faster administrative clearances need to be ensured and security challenges like Naxalism etc. in the mining belt need to be checked. आशा करते हैं कि आप इस क्वेश्चन को समझ चुके हैं। तो हम सब आगे बढ़ते हैं। अब हम सब क्वेश्चन नंबर 6 को देखते हैं। What are the environmental implications of the reclamation of water bodies into urban land use? Explain with examples. इस क्वेश्चन का आप आंसर कुछ इस प्रकार से लिख सकते हैं. Land reclamation is one of the most consequential fields of human-induced environmental transformation. In this light, reclamation of water bodies into urban land use has following environmental consequences. 1. Damage to water ecology. Urban land transformation leads to creation of residential, commercial buildings, such as houses, restaurants around water bodies, causing degradation of water ecology and influx of nutrients. For example, Dal Lake in Srinagar. 2. Increased incidence of flooding. Water bodies act as sponges for extra rainfall. Reclamation of water bodies has led to higher incidences of floods. A case in point is Mumbai, which lost 71% of its wetlands between 1970 to 2014. 3. Species extinction. land reclamation of Hussain Sagar Lake in Telangana have increased the board to 116 milligrams L. It is detrimental for not only aquatic species but also for aerial fauna. 4. Drinking water pollution. Water bodies have purifying effect through buffering out contaminants. Encroachment of water bodies lead to concentration of harmful chemicals such as arsenic, copper, chromium in the water table. For example, encroachment of water bodies in West Bengal have led to high level of arsenic pollution. 5. Environmental hazards. Water reclamation for urban land use in the coastal areas may aggravate the incidence of earthquakes etc. due to soil liquefaction and land subsidence. Water bodies play an important part in sustaining the ecology. In this light, their conservation through wastewater treatment, non-encroachment, reduced anthropogenic stress etc. is an imperative. आशा करते हैं कि आप इस क्वेश्चन को समझ चुके हैं। तो हम सब आगे बढ़ते हैं। अब हम सब क्वेश्चन नंबर 7 को देखते हैं। Mention the global occurrence of volcanic eruptions in 2021 and their impact on regional environment. इस क्वेश्चन का आप आंसर कुछ इस प्रकार से लिख सकते हैं। A volcano eruption is when lava and gas are released from an active volcano, often explosively. Volcanoes have significant impact on the regional environment, as can be seen from the examples of following volcanoes in 2021:1. Hunga Tonga Hunga Hapai, the submarine volcano erupted in December 2021. 2. Tal volcano, the volcano near Manila, experienced eruptions in 2021. 3. Nyiragongo, the violent, explosive eruption of this volcano in Democratic Republic of Congo affected the local population, as it killed dozens of people. 4. Iceland, the volcanic system of Iceland, erupted in 2021. It filled the valley with dark black lava for months before the eruption ceased. 5. La Palma, the volcanic system in the Canaries saw eruption of an explosive volcano in 2021. Impacts on local environment. 1. Plumes of volcanic ash can spread over the large areas of the sky, reducing visibility. 2. Volcanic eruptions are often accompanied with events of volcanic lightning. 3. Volcanic ash reflects incoming solar radiation, leading to a localized cooling effect in the temperature. For example, Mount Krakatoa brought mini ice age. 4. The volcanic ashes are known to increase the soil productivity of the region. 5. Carbon dioxide and fluorine gas can get collected in volcanic ash and can pollute the regional environment, making it difficult for animals and humans to breathe. 6. Volcanic eruptions are also known to stimulate earthquakes in the region. Volcanoes are a natural phenomenon. Most of the active volcanoes are around the Pacific Rim of Fire. Though volcanoes cannot be avoided, steps can be taken to mitigate their effects. आशा करते हैं कि आप इस क्वेश्चन को समझ चुके हैं। तो हम सब आगे बढ़ते हैं। अब हम सब क्वेश्चन नंबर 8 को देखते हैं। Why is India considered as a subcontinent? Elaborate your answer. इस क्वेश्चन का आप आंसर कुछ इस प्रकार से लिख सकते हैं। A subcontinent is a part of a continent that has distinct geographical, political and cultural identity. India is considered as a subcontinent because 1. Geography. India is 7th largest country in the world. Indian landmass is bounded by Himalayas in the north and Indian Ocean in the south that gives it a distinct identity. A long coastline, a large desert, Thar, highest mountains ranges and large plains, India Ganga-Brahmaputra plains, gives a physiological diversity that can be observed only on continental scale. As per plate tectonics, India is a separate plate which collided with Eurasian plate leading to formation of Himalayas. 2. Population. Indian has second largest population in the world, much higher than any other continent, except for Asia and Africa. 3. Unity in diversity. India has multiple races, religions, castes etc. Speaking different languages, practicing different customs, but a certain element of unity is visible in all. 4. Political identity. India is the largest democracy with independent institutions. Commitment to socialism and secularism makes it different from any other country in its vicinity. 5. Diversity in flora and fauna. India has wide-range vegetation ranging from evergreen forests to deciduous forests to alpine meadows. Many of the animal species found in India are endemic and not found in any other part of the world. Historically, Even ancient people considered India a separate unit, identifying entire land mass lying south of Indus, Sindhu, as India or Jambudweep. So, we can say that identity of India as a subcontinent is well accepted even from ancient times. आशा करते हैं कि आप इस क्वेश्चन को समझ चुके हैं। तो हम सब आगे बढ़ते हैं। अब हम सब क्वेश्चन नंबर 9 को देखते हैं। Examine the uniqueness of tribal knowledge system when compared with mainstream knowledge and cultural systems. इस क्वेश्चन का आप आंसर कुछ इस प्रकार से लिख सकते हैं। Tribal knowledge systems represent intergenerational wisdom in band societies passed on to the present times through centuries of experience and learnings. While similar characteristics can be seen in evolution of mainstream knowledge and culture, tribal knowledge systems are unique due to following reasons. 1. Tribal societies have contemporary knowledge of nature due to continued closeness to forests, flora and fauna. Mainstream societies have moved on to agricultural bases of society, and their cultural knowledge represents impressions of their tribal past, which no longer exists. 2. While mainstream knowledge systems are based on rigorous refining and questioning of ideas through discussions and scientific verification, tribal methods are based on conservation of knowledge. For example, the awareness among tribals of Andaman and Nicobar about a wall of sea helped them against tsunami in 2004. 3. Tribal knowledge systems are stored in songs and stories, while mainstream knowledge is preserved in books and recordings. 4. Tribal knowledge systems promote integrated learning for the community. In mainstream society, knowledge and traditions have bifurcated, with traditions becoming a subject of study instead of mode of studying. 5. Tribal knowledge systems are non-exclusionary and marked by equity. Mainstream's knowledge systems are mired in barriers like cost of education, patent protections, social exclusion etc. Tribal and mainstream societies are not mutually exclusive systems. Constant interaction and mutual dependence have enriched both. The way forward should be based on mixture of mutual learning and preservation through salad bowl model instead of assimilation. Recent initiatives like India's Traditional Knowledge Digital Library Initiative or the Nehruvian model of tribal Panchsheel are some other approaches. आशा करते हैं कि आप इस क्वेश्चन को समझ चुके हैं। तो हम सब आगे बढ़ते हैं। अब हम सब क्वेश्चन नंबर 10 को देखते हैं। Examine the role of gig economy in the process of empowerment of women in India. इस क्वेश्चन का आप आंसर कुछ इस प्रकार से लिख सकते हैं। A gig economy is a free market system in which temporary positions are common and organizations hire independent workers for short-term commitments. Gig economy can help in process of empowerment of women in India in following ways. 1. Gig employment allows part-time work and flexible working hours which allows women to balance their traditional roles, homemakers and caregiver, with employment. 2. Gig employment complemented by work from home, WFH, and technology has addressed the issue of safety during travel and night shifts. Also, new employment opportunities for women in Tier 2 and 3 cities have emerged. 3. It provides women with on-demand work allowing her join and drop out of workforce as per her own will. 4. Gig employment helps women earn extra income, boosted her confidence and gives decision-making power, all of which are important component of women empowerment. However, gig economy comes with its own set of constraints such as 1. Gig economy works purely on market principle of demand and supply. It views humans just as another resource. Easily replaceable low-skill gig laborers are exploited by employers. There is also lack of certainty regarding availability of work and stability of career. 2. Lack of benefits. Flexi workers usually are not entitled to minimum wages, insurances, PF, retirement plans, paid leave, maternity benefits, etc. 3. Pay difference. Permanent employees have a great pay plus benefits like travel allowance, etc. Gig workers are paid strictly as per the amount of work. 4. Restricted growth. Low-skill gig workers cannot move up the organizational hierarchy and not considered for promotions. In short term, gig economy can be a step towards increasing female labor force participation and women empowerment. But, in long run, predictable and formal employment with opportunities of upskilling is required. आशा करते हैं कि आप इस क्वेश्चन को समझ चुके हैं। तो हम सब आगे बढ़ते हैं। अब हम सब क्वेश्चन नंबर 11 को देखते हैं। To what extent did the role of the moderates prepare a base for the wider freedom movement? Comment. इस क्वेश्चन का आप आंसर कुछ इस प्रकार से लिख सकते हैं. Moderates were the early proponents and leaders of Indian national movement associated with the Indian National Congress. They used methods of petitions, questioning and debate to vocalize India's national subjugation and need for its amelioration. Role of moderates in widening the base of India's freedom movement. 1. Moderates provided ideological base for growth of freedom movement. For example, Dada Bhai Nauroji's economic critique of colonial rule created conviction about exploitative nature of the British rule in India. 2. Gopal Krishna Gokhale was the political guru of Mahatma Gandhi and inspired him to travel around India to learn about the condition and needs of the nation. Gandhi would later catalyze biggest mass movements in the history of the world. 3. Moderates created an understanding of common political, economic and cultural interests of Indians across the length and breadth of the country. 4. Council reforms such as the Indian Council Acts 1892 expanded the scope of political participation for Indians. 5. The lack of success of moderates' methods unintentionally provoked the rise of extremist faction, which aroused masses against the British such as during Swadeshi movement. However, moderates' achievement in mobilizing masses was limited as shown below. 1. Moderates came from homogeneous background of professionals like lawyers. 2. They neither provided substantive nor descriptive representation of masses. 3. Many of the moderates were convinced about the fundamentally good nature of British rule, unaware of its stark repercussions for the common poor. 4. The cause of mass politics was harmed due to moderates and transigents, which led to Surat split in Congress and years of inactivity in national politics. Despite the positive role played by moderates in furthering the cause of India's independence, their role in providing a mass base to freedom struggle was limited. It was not until the phenomena called Mahatma Gandhi happened that Indian masses would find a voice and a face in the freedom struggle. आशा करते हैं कि आप इस क्वेश्चन को समझ चुके हैं. तो हम सब आगे बढ़ते हैं. अब हम सब क्वेश्चन नंबर 12 को देखते हैं. Bring out the constructive programs of Mahatma Gandhi during non-cooperation movement and civil disobedience movement. इस क्वेश्चन का आप आंसर कुछ इस प्रकार से लिख सकते हैं. Constructive programs are the social work initiatives of Mahatma Gandhi launched during inactive phase of freedom struggle. Constructive programs are said to have played role of keeping morale of Congress workers high, widening the meaning of Swaraj, and preparation for the next phase of struggle. The constructive program of Mahatma Gandhi during non-cooperation and civil disobedience movement consisted of following work. 1. Satyagraha Sabha made from members of Home Rule Leagues was organized before non-cooperation movement. Methods of strike were combined with fasting and praying. 2. Promotion of khadi and village industries through use of spinning wheel, khadi bhandars, and boycott of foreign cloth. 3. Promotion of Hindu-Muslim unity was emphasized in messaging and symbolism, through network of ashrams across villages. 4. Removal of untouchability was worked upon through work among lower castes and tribals. For example, the Bardoli Sayagraha, role played by constructive program in non-cooperation and civil disobedience movement. 1. Volunteers promoting use of khadi provided ground workers in support during civil disobedience movement. 2. During non-cooperation movement, constructive program kept up the spirit of people in wake of disappointment due to suspension of movement. 3. Constructive work expanded the reach of the national movement across caste and class barriers. Constructive program of Mahatma Gandhi provided the cadre for freedom struggle, created training arena for them and expanded the social basis of the national movement. आशा करते हैं कि आप इस क्वेश्चन को समझ चुके हैं. तो हम सब आगे बढ़ते हैं. अब हम सब क्वेश्चन नंबर 13 को देखते हैं. There arose a serious challenge to the democratic state system between the two world wars. Evaluate the statement. इस क्वेश्चन का आप आंसर कुछ इस प्रकार से लिख सकते हैं. The world wars have been analyzed from multiple perspectives of causes and factors leading to the crisis. Challenge to democratic state system was a fundamental challenge in the interwar years in light of events that followed. Several challenges to democratic state system emerged in interwar years, such as 1. Rise of Hitler to power in Germany was amidst weak institutional checks. Nazi Party soon became the only political party in Germany. Communism was banned. Constitution was suspended. 2. Poor conceptualization of minority rights facilitated ethnic targeting of Jews and Romanis and growth of imperialistic ideas like Lebensraum. 3. Political intolerance of communism by the capitalist bloc countries led to oversight of German excesses, such as in Munich Agreement. 4. Spanish Civil War was a result of unresolved political contestation between Nationalist Party and the Communist Party. 5. Rise of ultranationalism and conscription promoted militarism in international politics. 6. Militant rise of fascists under Mussolini in Italy was supported by liberal classes. However, the challenges to democratic state system were not only limited to the interwar years. 1. The democratic traditions in Germany had been weak since days of Bismarck. 2. The major democracies of the time from USA to UK had been practicing colonialism, which is fundamentally opposite of democratic ideals. 3. Self-interest of capitalist countries in support for dictatorial regimes in Germany and Italy had domestic democratic legitimacy in UK, France etc. due to economic and ideological reasons. The interwar period saw crisis of democratic values as we understand them today. The democratic shortcomings actively led the world to the Second World War. आशा करते हैं कि आप इस क्वेश्चन को समझ चुके हैं। तो हम सब आगे बढ़ते हैं। अब हम सब क्वेश्चन नंबर 14 को देखते हैं। Briefly mention the alignment of major mountain ranges of the world and explain their impact on local weather conditions, with examples. इस क्वेश्चन का आप आंसर कुछ इस प्रकार से लिख सकते हैं। A mountain range is a sequential chain of mountains or hills with similarity in alignment. The major mountain ranges of the world include the Himalayas, the Alps mountain range, the Atlas mountain range, the Andes mountain range and the Rocky mountain ranges. The alignment of these ranges and their impact on local weather condition can be seen as A. The Himalayas. 1. Himalayas extend for a 2,500 km from west to east, in an arc-shaped manner. 2. They protect the Indian subcontinent from the frigid, dry winds blowing from the Tibetan plateau. 3. It acts as barrier for monsoon winds, causing rainfall in India. It also is responsible for the Taklamakan and Gobi Desert as they fall in the rain shadow area. B. The Alps. 1. It is the highest mountain range system of Europe, stretching for 1,200 km, west to east, across 8 alpine countries, such as France, Switzerland, Italy etc. 2. It influences precipitation patterns in South Europe and Eurasia. 3. Alps influence presence and direction of local winds like Föhn, Mistral etc. C. The Atlas. 1. The Atlas mountain range stretches through Morocco, Algeria and Tunisia in a southwest to northeast direction. 2. It separates the Mediterranean region from the Sahara Desert. 3. It causes high rainfall in the region between them and the Mediterranean Sea by capturing the moisture-laden winds. 4. They also act as a rain shadow, preventing the rainfall in the desert region of Sahara. D. The Andes. 1. They are the longest continental mountain ranges in the world. 2. They extend from north to south through 7 South American countries. 3. The north, east and the southwest part of the Andes is rainy and moist. 4. Andes acts as the rain shadow for the Atacama Desert. A. The Rockies. 1. Rockies extend from the northernmost part of British Columbia to New Mexico in southwestern United States. 2. The size and locale play important part in formation of warm snow-eater Chinook winds. 3. Rockies capture the moisture-laden winds from the Pacific and cause ample rainfall in its windward side, while giving a rain shadow effect to the deserts in southwest North America. Mountain ranges play an important role in influencing the local weather patterns and lifestyles of the people. For this reason, they are important for not only the geography but also the various cultural and economic factors. आशा करते हैं कि आप इस क्वेश्चन को समझ चुके हैं। तो हम सब आगे बढ़ते हैं। अब हम सब क्वेश्चन नंबर 15 को देखते हैं। How do the melting of the Arctic ice and glaciers of the Antarctic differently affect the weather patterns and human activities on the Earth? Explain. इस क्वेश्चन का आप आंसर कुछ इस प्रकार से लिख सकते हैं। Arctic is an ocean covered by thin layers of perennial sea ice and surrounded by land, while Antarctica is a continent covered by very thick ice cap. The melting of ice and glaciers in the two affects the weather pattern and human activities differently as seen below. Arctic 1. Warming of the Arctic has seen to be related by the scientists to slowing of the jet stream and its looping southwards. 2. Melting of ice in Arctic has made the ENSO cycle erratic and higher emergence of El Niño events. 3. Melting of Arctic ice is linked to Central Pacific trade wind intensification, weakening of extratropical cyclones. 4. Melting of Arctic ice will lead to extreme weather events in the middle latitudes. 5. Melting of Arctic ice might lead to opening of North Sea route for global trade, saving both time and cost. 6. Reduced opportunities for the native population for subsistence hunting, fishing and herding. 7. Rise in temperature is likely to cause physiological stress in people adapted to be living in cooler climates. Antarctic 1. Melting of glaciers in Antarctic will lead to slowing of Atlantic meridional overturning circulation, disrupting Gulf Stream. 2. The warming of Antarctic will cause colder winters and hotter summers in North Atlantic. 3. Melting of Antarctic glaciers is linked with extreme weather events in Europe. 4. The warming of Antarctica circumpolar current can aggravate the effects of global warming. 5. Melting of Antarctic glaciers could raise the sea level substantially, affecting the people on SIDS. 6. Melting of Antarctic glaciers will enhance the incidences of coastal erosion and storm surges, causing loss of livelihood for the coastal people. The melting of ice and glaciers in Arctic and Antarctic will have irreversible consequences for the humans as well as the global weather patterns. The need of the hour is to adopt sustainable approach to minimize the effects of global warming. आशा करते हैं कि आप इस क्वेश्चन को समझ चुके हैं। तो हम सब आगे बढ़ते हैं। अब हम सब क्वेश्चन नंबर 16 को देखते हैं। Discuss the multi-dimensional implications of uneven distribution of mineral oil in the world. इस क्वेश्चन का आप आंसर कुछ इस प्रकार से लिख सकते हैं। Mineral oil is unevenly distributed across the world. The immense strategic importance of mineral oil and its lopsided distribution across the globe have many multidimensional implications such as 1. Economic implications. Uneven distribution of the mineral oil across the world leads to economic consequences like inflation for the importing country. For example, India is susceptible to global shocks in oil prices. 2. Regional conflict. As the mineral oil resource is strategic in nature, its uneven distribution leads to great power conflict over the control of the region. For example, disputes in oil-rich regions of Middle East. 3. Energy security. The uneven distribution of the mineral energy resource has led to high degree of energy insecurity in the oil-deficient countries. It also directly affects their strategic autonomy. 4. Diplomatic leverage. The lopsided distribution of the vital mineral oil resource is a vital factor in leveraging its availability for diplomatic gains. For example, India's major dependence on Middle East for oil provides it with a diplomatic bargain over India. 5. Balance of trade. The uneven distribution of the mineral oil resources affects the balance of trade between the importing and the exporting countries. This in turn affects the foreign exchange reserves of the country. 6. Growth. Uneven distribution of mineral oil also has led to uneven growth across the globe. Rise in import prices directly hamper the capabilities of the government to spend on welfare objectives. 7. Vested interest in oil economy has potential to delay transition to clean energy and decarbonizing the world industry. Thus, the uneven distribution of the mineral oil resources leads to various implications ranging from economic to energy security and adoption of renewable energy sources. This highlights the need for India to diversify its energy basket both in terms of content and geography. आशा करते हैं कि आप इस क्वेश्चन को समझ चुके हैं। तो हम सब आगे बढ़ते हैं। अब हम सब क्वेश्चन नंबर 17 को देखते हैं। What are the main socio-economic implications arising out of the development of IT industries in major cities of India? इस क्वेश्चन का आप आंसर कुछ इस प्रकार से लिख सकते हैं। The IT industries in India are concentrated in the major metropolitan cities of India such as Bengaluru, Mumbai, Chennai etc. This isolated concentration of the IT industries in these cities have several socio-economic implications such as 1. Economic empowerment. Development of IT industries in major cities have led to the economic empowerment, rise of new middle class through higher employment opportunities and development of ancillary businesses. 2. Gender parity. As the labor force participation of women in quality jobs is comparatively more in major cities, due to development of IT industries, it has led to their financial independence and empowerment. 3. Cultural changes. The concentration of IT industries in major cities have also seen cultural changes. A marked shift towards accepting Western language, rise in nuclear families, shift in food choices and modes of recreation could be seen. For example, cafe culture of Bengaluru. 4. Social infrastructure. Development of IT industries have given boost to the social infrastructure. This could be seen in high availability of schools, hospitals etc. 5. Migration. As these cities have become the center of knowledge economy, there is a marked preference in youths to migrate into these cities for better career opportunities, leaving senior citizens behind in Tier 2 to 3 cities. 6. Unbalanced development. Concentration of IT industry in a handful of cities have led to the neglect of many Tier 2, Tier 3 towns. This has created an unhealthy development divide in the country. There is also a huge wage gap between IT workers and other workers. 7. Security challenges. The late-night work culture, rise in affluency have parallelly enhanced the security challenges for the citizens and administration alike, with incidents of thefts, eve-teasing etc. on a rise. The development of IT industries has come as a boon for the country. Its development should be decentralized into Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities also, so as to ensure an inclusive development in the growing knowledge economy. आशा करते हैं कि आप इस क्वेश्चन को समझ चुके हैं। तो हम सब आगे बढ़ते हैं। अब हम सब क्वेश्चन नंबर 18 को देखते हैं। Discuss the main objectives of population education and point out the measures to achieve them in India in detail. इस क्वेश्चन का आप आंसर कुछ इस प्रकार से लिख सकते हैं। Population education is an educational program which provides for a study of the population situation of the family, the community, nation and world. The purpose of population education is to develop rational and responsible attitudes, behavior in the students towards population demographic situations. Objectives of population education are: 1. It helps to understand how family size can be controlled as population limitation can facilitate the development of a higher quality of life in the nation. 2. To develop an understanding of the influence of population trends on the various aspects of human life, social, cultural, political and economic. 3. It helps to understand that a small family size can contribute materially to the quality of living for the individual family. 4. To develop an understanding of scientific and medical advancement enabling to get an increasing control over famines, diseases and ultimately death and the imbalance thus created between death rate and birth rate. Measures to achieve the objectives. India was the first country to explicitly announce its population policy in 1952. The aim of the program was to reduce birth rates, to stabilize the population at a level consistent with the requirements of the national economy. 1. The government launched the National Family Planning Program with the aim of controlling population growth in a socially desirable direction by reducing total fertility rate to 2.1, replacement rate. 2. The government has taken concerted steps to encourage use of contraception devices. 3. The government has launched the National Family Planning Indemnity Scheme, NFPIS, under which clients are insured in the eventualities of deaths, complications and failures following sterilization. 4. Accreditation of NGO facilities to increase the provider base for family planning services. 5. The government is also utilizing ASHA workers to provide delivery of contraceptives and educate people in rural and urban areas about family planning. 6. School curriculum has been designed to educate children regarding advantages of small family, reproductive biology, etc., to make positive change in attitude of children. India is projected to become the most populous nation by 2027, overtaking China. This huge population can become a bonnet if not engaged properly. So, it is imperative for the policy makers to adopt population education initiatives to devise policies and educate people about them to ensure that this huge population remains as an asset. आशा करते हैं कि आप इस क्वेश्चन को समझ चुके हैं। तो हम सब आगे बढ़ते हैं। अब हम सब क्वेश्चन नंबर 19 को देखते हैं। What is cryptocurrency? How does it affect global society? Has it been affecting Indian society also? इस क्वेश्चन का आप आंसर कुछ इस प्रकार से लिख सकते हैं। A cryptocurrency or crypto is a virtual currency secured by cryptography. It is designed to work as a medium of exchange, where individual ownership records are stored in a computerized database. The cryptocurrency works on blockchain technology and is free from control of government agencies. Cryptocurrency is a new emerging technology which is revolutionizing the way people make monetary transactions. Crypto has affected global society in both positive and negative ways as discussed below. 1. Increasing usage of cryptocurrency is economically integrating the global society. Currently, the world is divided in terms of different currencies. Crypto bypasses this division and is increasingly becoming a sought-after way of transacting. 2. Cryptocurrencies take away the sovereign power of issuing currency, thus making economic policy ineffective and diluting the bond between citizen and government. 3. The transactions in crypto are cheap and faster. Thus, it makes capital more mobile, volatile, posing risk to macroeconomic stability and consequent social consequences. 4. Cryptocurrency has emerged as a new asset class, alternative of gold. However, fluctuation in the value of cryptocurrency has made both kings and beggars. 5. Crypto is used by terrorist organizations, drug cartels to smuggle contrabands which negatively impacts society at large. Anonymity in cryptocurrency has potential to increase crime in society. 6. With increasing acceptance of crypto, people who are digitally illiterate are being left behind. Thus, it can lead to a disproportionate rise in inequality. Effect of crypto on Indian society. Crypto is still in a nascent phase in India, with a huge uncertainty about its future. As RBI initially banned crypto trading in 2018, which was reversed by the Supreme Court later. The following are the effect of crypto on Indian society. 1. With the rise of cryptocurrency, a new crypto community has emerged, that includes amateur investors, professionals and jobs have come up in the society. Example, multiple crypto exchanges have come up. 2. India is the largest receiver of remittances. However, the people lose money on conversion, processing charges, and switching to crypto will help people to get rid of these expenses. 3. As an asset, cryptocurrency has offered huge returns in the past, so it has become a fad among Indian youth to invest in these volatile assets, overlooking the risk associated with it. 4. India became victim to ransomware attacks like WannaCry etc. And the ransom was collected in crypto to may promote culture of digital extortion. To make use of the revolutionary potential of underlying technology behind the cryptocurrency, while avoiding its negative consequences, a proper regulatory framework is required. आशा करते हैं कि आप इस क्वेश्चन को समझ चुके हैं। तो हम सब आगे बढ़ते हैं। अब हम सब क्वेश्चन नंबर 20 को देखते हैं। How does Indian society maintain continuity in traditional social values? Enumerate the changes taking place in it. इस क्वेश्चन का आप आंसर कुछ इस प्रकार से लिख सकते हैं। Certain social values like tolerance, collectivism, spiritualism, non-violence etc. have been part of our traditional value system since time immemorial. Indian society has maintained continuity in traditional social values through 1. Institution of family has ensured that traditional values pass on from one generation to next through socialization. 2. Collective celebration of festivals reinforces values like brotherhood, fraternity, purity, triumph of good over evil etc. 3. Social gatherings from functions to bhajan kirtan etc. provide avenue for sharing ideas and values. 4. Marriages, sometimes intercaste, has helped in preserving community values. India has been able to maintain continuity in traditional social values because of following reasons. 1. Flexibility. Indian culture has been flexible in accommodating different and even diverging viewpoints. 2. Evolution. Indian value system has evolved with time, adopting progressive elements and abandoning regressive practices. For example, socio-religious reform movements of India. 3. Assimilation of different values in culture. Foreigners got Indianized when they came to India. For example, Scythian and Mughals. 4. In different eras, saints like Buddha, Mahavira, Shankaracharya, Ramanuja, Guru Nanak, etc. always emphasized spirituality over materialism, peaceful coexistence over aggressive dominance. However, social values are changing under the influence of technological, political and economic forces. Following changes are taking place. 1. Decline of tolerance. Incidents like the issue of namaz in Gurugram and Haridwar Dharma Sansad show a trend of rising intolerance. 2. Rise of individualism and decline in collective values. Materialism and excessive competition have led to an increase in selfish pursuit of personal goals while the collective need of society is often ignored. 3. Nuclearization of family and decline of joint family as an institution. 4. Modern education has made progressive values like gender equality, non-discrimination on caste lines etc. a part of the value system. 5. Information technology has facilitated quick transfer of information and changed the traditional way of socialization obsolete. Now social media is influencing our social values both in a good and bad way. For example, the Me Too campaign or the recent Bulli Bai case. Although, the forces of modernization have altered the balance of Indian traditional social values. However, the interaction between the two is dynamic. The traditional Indian values like Vasudev Kutumbakam continue to assert their significance and their role in maintaining harmony in the world. आशा करते हैं कि आप इस क्वेश्चन को समझ चुके हैं. By the way, यदि आपको 1979 से लेकर के 2021 तक के मेंस के चारों जीएस के डिटेल्ड सॉल्यूशंस चाहिए, तो आप यह बुक अवश्य डाउनलोड कर ले. यह बुक दोनों मीडियम में अवेलेबल है, इंग्लिश एवं हिंदी. इस बुक में टू द पॉइंट सॉल्यूशंस बताने का कोशिश किया गया है, और जो इसमें सॉल्यूशन बताए गए हैं वो यूपीएससी के वर्ड लिमिट के अनुसार बनाए गए हैं. बेहद डिटेल में सॉल्व किया गया है. जिस प्रकार यूपीएससी को आंसर का डिमांड है, उसी प्रकार का आंसर इस बुक में प्रस्तुत किया गया है. एंड बाय द वे, यह बुक एक्सआईएस और रिनाउंड डीयू प्रोफेसर के मार्गदर्शन में बनाया गया है. आशा करते हैं आप इस बुक को डाउनलोड करेंगे. लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन या कमेंट बॉक्स में आपको मिल जाएंगे.